2020. This is going to be a good year. I'm pretty excited for 2020. I think it's going to be fantastic. 2020. This is going to be a good year. I'm pretty excited for 2020. I think it's going to be fantastic. 2020. This is going to be a good year. Hey, film dorks, what's going on? Welcome to the end of 2020. We made it, guys. I hope everyone is having a safe and happy holiday season. And if nothing else, let's all just be thankful that we made it to the end of this absolute shithole of a year. Yeah. For kind of an end of the year celebration, I know I usually do my big year in review video in January, but this year I decided I would finish off 2020 in 2020, as it were. As I started thinking about what I wanted to do for a 2020 video, I realized I didn't want to do a 2020 video. So this time around, I'm doing a series of 3 videos. 3 videos? The 8 worst films I watched all year, the 8 best films I watched all year, and then 8 other cinema-related experiences that they weren't necessarily the best movies I saw all year. They weren't the worst movies I saw all year. But for some unclassifiable reason, they just kind of stuck with me, and there's something I wanted to talk about. With all of that being said, let's kick this shindig off with the 8 worst films I watched in 2020. D.W. Griffith's supposed masterpiece. Basically, as far as I'm concerned, you can just keep your racist propaganda trash to yourself. And before anybody says,
"Oh, but it was so innovative."
No, it wasn't. In fact, the only thing Birth of a Nation really did is it ushered in a new concept of how you can market your films. But when you peel back all the hype, basically, it's literally just a recruiting tool for the KKK. Actually, never mind keep it to yourself. You can shove your racist trash propaganda bullshit straight up your ass. Keeping with the D.W. Griffith theme, we have Way Down East. Here Griffith takes a 90-minute melodrama about an ill-used woman and pads it out to 3 hours with various subplots and a bunch of attempts at humor that just haven't aged well. Basically, total snorefest. Speaking of snorefests, moving on. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. A tensionless CGI fest that just rehashes ideas that were done better in previous indie films, combined with some of Janusz Kaminski's worst cinematography of his career, as far as I'm concerned. The rare Lynchian misstep. Nicolas Cage is just too Nicolas Cage here for me to take him seriously, and Laura Palmer's last-minute appearance as a head injury-induced hallucination is just cringy and ugh. Sorry, David. Inglourious Basterds. I'm gonna level with you. I hated this movie a decade ago when somebody told me,
"Oh, you've got to watch Inglourious Basterds."
And I still hate it. Not as much as I used to. There's a few well-crafted scenes, in particular the restaurant scene with the strudel, very well done. In fact, most of Shoshana's storyline is actually well-made and interesting and tense. The rest of the movie seems like Tarantino is trying to make an epic by taking a regular movie and just dragging every scene out far past the point where there's any tension left. Brad Pitt and company are a bunch of brain-dead morons who I guess we're supposed to like just because they're killing Nazis, which, granted, I mean, don't get me wrong. Nazis. But they're not characters that I can really connect with or care about at all. Yet another Tarantino picture. This is a 3-hour movie in name only. It's actually a 2-hour radio play.
Hey, look, here comes a man, walking along the road, through the snow.
with about 45 minutes worth of movie tacked onto the end of it. By the time I got to the actual cinematic portion of the film, I honestly had long since given up and lost interest. And finally, for the worst films I watched in 2020, here's the thing. I love Dolly Parton. I really do. I love that woman. And I like Christmas movies. And I like musicals. Christmas on the Square is not good. The acting is absolutely atrocious, especially from some of the lead characters. The storyline is needlessly convoluted, on top of which it lacks really any focus, any sense of character motivations. Plus, this movie has some of the worst green screen effects I've seen all year. Somewhat understandable. I'm sure we can chalk that up to a combination of the low budget and the COVID situation, but it didn't even have going for it that it was pleasant to look at, because it wasn't. 2020 sucked! But it wasn't all bad. In the next video, I'm going to turn to the positive side. What are the 8 best movies that I watched all year? I hope you enjoyed this video. What are some of the worst movies you've seen in the past year? Let me know down there, and I'll see you soon.